Now let's have a quick look at the Diversity Atlas platform. So for an organisation to map its workforce, each staff member can complete this very short 3 to 4 minute survey. The key thing about this survey is to make sure that it's very simple to use and quick, but it's also got to be incredibly comprehensive to make sure that all the different cultural aspects are as inclusive as they can be. So the first experience of the survey is to enter your name, or you can remain anonymous, and they just complete their personal information. Then the survey takes us into the first of the 4 pillars and asks about the country of birth, and also it goes back 3 generations. The second aspect then is to look at the cultural heritages. So if we look at this example here for French, there are over 15 different types of cultural heritage that relate to being French. And then we can also start to look at areas that may have impacted us. So maybe this French person lived in the Philippines, and that's had a major impact in the way they think about culture, and they might want to include that as well. Then if we move on to the next pillar, then we start to look at languages and to understand which languages people speak at an advanced level. So in this example, we're going to choose English, French, and say German, and what languages people might speak at an intermediate level, or a basic language which they might want to include. So to complete this question, we have over 8,000 different languages in the database that sits behind this. And in Australia, that includes over 1,000 Aboriginal languages. And then moving on to the last cultural diversity pillar, which is a person's worldview. So this particular person is agnostic, but they've also had a strong Catholic influence. So they will select as a second worldview religion the fact that they are a Catholic as well. They might go to church at Easter or Christmas time. And this way, again, we can be fully inclusive of any worldview or religion that exists in the world. So all of the information that is completed is available in real time, which means there's no additional analysis that needs to be done. And we've seen organisations spend weeks, if not months, analysing this type of data. So it just gives us a quick snapshot of where people are born, and also an overview of their gender and age. So we're getting an in-depth view of gender distribution. We can also see some key facts around the number of people that have disabilities, where they were educated, what type of education, and our first overall diversity index, which gives us a way of creating a benchmark about the variety and distribution of their overall cultural diversity. And this is our unique intellectual property to create these indexes as an overview and for each of the individual pillars. The demographic dashboard gives us a view of continents of birth, but also the number of male and females born in different states or provinces. We can look at the position type as distribution from male and female, and also the generations. And then we can start to look at the 4 pillars of cultural diversity. And this gives us an individual index for each of these 4 pillars. So we can see countries of birth. We can also see people's distribution of parents and grandparents were born. And then if we look at the second pillar of languages, again, it shows us the variety and distribution of languages that are spoken at different levels. And then if we look at worldview, we can again see by gender the different types of worldviews that this organisation has. And in the last cultural diversity pillar, we can see with this particular workforce for cultural heritage, there is a much greater variety and distribution with a diversity index of 63 compared to some of the other pillars that we looked at. All this information is downloadable into XLS as well. But for the first time, it will give an organisation the most comprehensive view in real time of any of their specific teams. So in this example, what we're going to do is compare the accounting team with the marketing team. And so what we can do with this data is to look at all the different cultural diversity pillars and compare one team with another.